morning. I assume everybody's awake. Are you all awake?
No.
The 5 minutes I've got with you, it's going to be a bunch of questions that I'm going to ask you, so you've got to pay a lot of attention. So first question, why are you here?
To love and serve God.
Love and serve God. I was expecting some drunken Irishman to say that he was here because of all the free wine that was Darn it. Tom, you should give me that answer. Why are we here? I think deep in our hearts we all relate with the challenge of preparing Catholics for the next America. Is it a fair answer? Fair. I think deep in our hearts is something which greatly concerns all of us. And when I look around the room, lots of people that are working, trying to address different parts of how you prepare Catholics for the next America. Yesterday we heard some people talk about the pro-life issue. We've got to regenerate the culture of life in this country, hugely important. I want to talk about another little part of the very important work in preparing Catholics for the next America, and it refers to the issue of Catholic higher education. And a lot of today focuses on higher education and education in general. So I'm going to ask you sort of a bunch of questions about what you might think about Catholic higher education. Back in the year 2000, I was first introduced to Catholic higher education when I read a book written by the top Catholic academic in the US and personal friend of our current president, and he made a statement, and I want you to remember that statement. He said, a great Catholic university must first be a great university and then Catholic. So a great Catholic university must first be a great university and then Catholic. So raise your hands if you find a problem with that statement. So on the particular day I read that statement at Franciscan University in Steubenville, Ohio. I read that statement and I couldn't care less about Catholic higher education, and I felt the top Catholic academic in the US had that statement wrong. I felt he had it backwards. So if I were to ask you the question, which is the question a bunch of us in San Diego asked ourselves in 2003, if you were building in this century a new Catholic university, what should it look like? So I'm going to ask the question in three parts. The first part might be really simple. You might say, first and foremost, it should be a Catholic institution. Is it a fair assessment? Building a new Catholic university, it should at least be Catholic. Why are you laughing? Okay. So we're absolutely blessed. It's a subject that took up a lot of thinking of Pope John Paul. It takes up a lot of thinking of Pope Benedict. So I'll give you simple quotes from both of them. Pope Benedict makes a very simple statement about the Catholic university, and you'll be able to remember it. He says it's a place where students have to encounter Jesus Christ. Okay? So would you say that would be a reasonable thing for a Catholic university? To be a place where students would encounter Jesus Christ? Yes. Yeah. Right? Pretty fair assessment? Okay. John Paul had this thing that Catholic institutions are primarily places where people go forward to evangelize, right? Tell the good news of Jesus Christ. So for us, in starting out, answering the first question about being Catholic is pretty straightforward. We just take the two statements of Benedict and John Paul, create the opportunity to encounter Jesus Christ, and prepare students to evangelize. Straightforward? Everybody agree? Right?
Yeah. Amen.
Is it difficult or easy? Difficult or easy in 2011, 2012 to form 18 to 22-year-olds in the culture that we exist in? Very difficult, right? What's the good news? There's a couple of bits of good news. Good news is that the young people we have a hunger for Jesus Christ. There's an absolute hunger for Jesus Christ. So that's the good news. The other good news is the church gives us everything that we need to do that, right? All the sacraments. Secondly, if you're building a new university, what it should be like? What's worth attacking? What is the biggest influence in our culture today?
Media.
Biggest influence in our culture today is media. More than anything else, more than church, more than family, more than schools, it's the thing that influence. So as we set out, we said we're going to school that's Catholic, we're going to school that focuses on media. And then the last part of the equation is, you better be able to do something with it. If you're going to influence the field of media, you've got to build businesses. You've got to build businesses that produce media content that influences culture. And that's what we did in San Diego. And that's what John Paul the Great Catholic University is all about. It's taking young men and women who love Jesus Christ, who want to encounter Jesus Christ, who want to evangelize, who want to understand the amazing, enormously impactful field of media, and they want to build businesses so they can create content to influence our culture.